Okay.
You ready?
I'm excited about today's episode.
Yeah, it's another good one.
It is a good one. Hey there, and welcome to Marriage Talks, a real, authentic, and relatable podcast about how to thrive in your marriage. I'm Elizabeth Ann.
And I'm Michael.
And today, like Michael said, we have a Fave 5. And before we get into it, we want to let you know that today's episode is sponsored by the Marriage Talks Patreon. And if you decide to become a member of the community, you will gain access to exclusive content that you cannot get anywhere else. And it also helps our mission in helping married couples thrive. All right. Let's tell people why we do Fave 5s.
Okay, so we go over this every time. So if you've heard a lot of Fave 5s, you'll hear this again. But for you newbies who haven't heard one before.
You noobs.
Yeah, we do a Fave 5 because it's super fun for us. And it allows us just to kind of have fun. But the main purpose of it is to kind of give inspiration for conversational topics with you and your spouse on a date, on a regular night, you name it. Sometimes, you get in the pattern of life. You wake up, you go to work, you raise the kids, you do bedtime routines, you watch a Netflix show and you go to bed. It gets a little bit repetitive. You forget to actually get to know one another.
Talk to your spouse.
Yeah, and so it gets a little bit boring unless you kind of have specific, like, hey, let's, it's like a prompt basically for a cool conversation.
Unless you're intentional. So, nobody is really, really perfect at communicating. So we do the Fave 5s to help facilitate communication, not only between Michael and I, but for you as the listener. And this is just a really easy topic to sit down with your spouse and to talk about your Fave 5 at whatever the topic might be. And so it's just to encourage good communication with your spouse. So that's why we do it. It's not off brand or topic. They are extremely fun for us. We have enjoyed every single one of them, but it really is to give you another idea on how to practice your communication with your spouse because it does not come easy.
Yeah, or automatically.
Exactly.
You gotta be intentional. That's the key word.
Yes, intentional.
So what are we talking about tonight? We are talking about our favorite 5 games. We originally had said board games, but as I started making my list, it was like, well, do we count card games? Do we count this, that, the other? So it's just like games. Something you can buy at Target or on Amazon and do with 2 players or a family or something.
Yep. Excuse me.
Whoa. That was sudden. You were looking at me, then you were like gone.
I was trying to hold off my sneeze as long as possible. Okay. We're good. Now, I will say, last Fave 5, you went first. So this Fave 5, I'll go first.
Your memory's better than mine.
Well, I just listened to the episodes.
Okay.
That's
right.
That's the only reason why I know it. And if you haven't listened to the last Fave 5, you should. It's a good one. It's Fave 5 comfort foods and makes me want to eat all the things.
Oh, yeah.
So.
And we also, it was cool because we had the same favorite one.
Number
1, the same one.
We did. Don't say what it is, though.
Oh, well.
Okay.
You gotta go listen.
Yes, you do have to go listen. Okay, so if this is your first Fave 5, we always do honorable mentions, and those are just the handful of ones that don't make the top 5, but are still worth talking about. And just so you know, we are going to list all of these games with links if you want to go check them out or purchase them. We will have all of that in the show notes because these are definitely ones to put into your game closet if you don't have them because they're really, really fun. And I think we mostly picked, most of them are 2-player games. Not all of them, but most of them are because it's kind of annoying to play Candyland.
Well, I don't know.
500 times.
Actually, I say yes, but I don't know what you picked at all, so.
Well, I think the majority of games we play in are 2-player games, but that doesn't necessarily mean that all of them will be. But
we shall see.
I don't know why I felt like y'all needed to know that, but there you go. Okay, my honorable mentions are Blockbuster, which
oh yeah, I forgot about that.
If you haven't played that game and you love movies, that is a really, really good one. Target sold it during the holiday season. Last year, and that one was super fun, and it comes in like a VHS Blockbuster container, plastic container, so if you remember what Blockbusters are, yay, and I don't feel so old, and if you don't know what I'm talking about, I feel very old.
Yeah.
But okay, so that's the first one.
And the other part of, if you haven't heard of Fave 5 before, is we talk about our 5 favorite, but Elizabeth likes to give a whole story for her honorables as well.
People want to know. I'm just giving the people what they want, okay?
Yeah, when we first did one, and I was like, these are 30 minutes, right?
Stop it. Okay. The next honorable mention is mixtape. If you really like music, this one is super, super fun. It's just cards, and you just need the game that has cards and then your phone. So that one is super, super fun. Love Letter, which is a good 2-player game.
Oh, that made your list. Mm-hmm. We've played that so few times, but I loved it. It's just kind of
it's really simple.
That one is 2-player, but it's definitely better with more because some of the dynamics have anyway, it's more difficult as a 2-player, but that got number 1 on so many lists. Yes. So I just bought it. It's like $11 or $12.
Not bad at all.
No, but it's fun.
It is fun. And sometimes it's hard to find a 2-player game that's really fun to play because it's it's just not good as a 2-player game. But that one is. That one's really good. Sequence. That one's a good strategy game, which I don't think you've ever played. But
no, we just got a copy of it though.
Yeah.
Yesterday.
The travel. I've never played the travel version. I've only played the board game version. But Sequence is good if you like strategy. Strategery.
Speaking of, you just made me think of one. Sorry. Never mind.
Do you need to add something to your list?
Go on.
And then my other honorable mention is Pandemic, which is extremely fitting for the time that we're in because you have to rid the world of infectious disease. There is no more relevant game than that one right now. If you don't know what I'm talking about, that one's actually really cool because you're not playing against each other, you're working together as a team. And so, maybe and I've heard of couples not being able to play games because there's sore losers, a lot of tempers. And so that one's really good because you're working together instead of playing against each other. And could be a good introduction into games if you've been wanting to, but your spouse isn't so great at it. That one's a really fun one. So I recommend that one.
Yeah, I just made some edits to my list. Sorry. Okay, ready for my honorables? Yes. All right, y'all. I love games.
You too.
It's something, yeah. I used to be kind of a poor sport about stuff, and then I realized that that's not as fun for anybody, including myself, so I got better about that. All right, so honorable mentions. Slamwich, which is a game I've never seen anywhere else except for at my parents' house. And about a year ago, my mom sent a box of stuff after they went through some other boxes to kind of clean out the garage, and it was in there. And so now we've played it with the kids. Well, have you played it?
I actually have not played it.
Okay, so I played it with the kids a bunch of times, and Charlotte's really good at it. Henry, he still computes the patterning, but you basically do matches and stuff like that. But it's kind of like a quick-paced game. It's really fun, and everything's food-related.
It's probably
It's like ERS.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It is. But it's like food and sandwiches and stuff. It's fun. Another one is Monopoly. I do like Monopoly. We haven't played in about 6 years.
Should you tell them why?
Yes, I wanted to bring this up. So when we were newlyweds, right? Like a year, maybe?
Not far into our marriage.
Yeah. We played Monopoly, and here's another one. You can play it 2 players, but there's some dynamics that don't work well. So we played a game, and obviously Monopoly, if you've played it, it can be a long game. And we got to the point where we were just snapping up property left and right, and it was just kind of getting to the point where nobody had any color groups at all. So we got 4 hours in or something like that. It was so long.
We were both on the defensive.
Yeah.
Not giving in.
Yeah, and then it was just, we need to kind of get this game moving. Somebody needs color groups at some point. So we ended up doing some moving and shaking, and we ended up I got the most lucky, 5 rolls in a row. Or no, you got more unlucky, but
no,
I ended up winning.
Okay, yeah, so he's leaving some things out.
We got to leave some space for the actual 5, too.
He conned me into trading properties with him he used his body.
Yeah, you're making up stuff years later.
No, but he truly did con me into.
No, well, people are gonna think that was a real comment. I did not.
Yes, he started to take off his shirt and said, "Hey, baby, give me those properties."
I remember nothing of the sort.
But no, not the shirt part, but he did like con me into giving those properties, like
puppy eyes.
Like, so he got a color group. And he just, like, sailed. And I was like, yeah, I don't think we can play Monopoly anymore.
I don't think we have, actually, since
No, we have not.
Yeah. But I liked it. It was fun.
Of course you did, because you won.
And that's basically it. I'll save my 5 for the actual list.
Okay. So we're going to move into number 5. If this is your first Fave 5, we take turns. We go 5, 5, 4, 4, 3, 3, and so on. Okay? So we both reveal our number 1s at the very end. So my number 5... game is Friends Trivia.
Oh Lord,
love playing Friends Trivia.
Yeah, talk about domination. Nobody even stands a chance.
Yes, I love it so much. Yes, I love it. I love Friends. I got a Lego set of Friends for Christmas. I got a Friends shirt for Christmas. I love Friends. So, of course, I'm going to love Friends Trivia.
Yeah. We played with a group of about 15 people, and your score was like so much higher than even the next one, who is also a guru herself.
Yes.
But I didn't realize how much Elizabeth knew about that show until she smoked the rest of the group. Like, you're really in a league of your own. Okay, that's not necessarily healthy.
I can quote quite a bit of it.
Yeah.
I'd say 90%.
Easily, yeah.
It's a talent. I'm going to consider
Something
it a
like
talent.
that. Mm-hmm.
I'm rolling with it. All right, you're number 5.
Number 5 is new. Okay, this is a new one. I just played it yesterday for the first time. I played it with Charlotte,
our daughter,
and then I played it yesterday evening with Elizabeth. She smoked me. She's actually really good at stuff. And then I played it again today, and I'm thinking, this is going to be a game I can see myself playing long term. It's called Blockus.
That one was fun.
Isn't it cool?
So a little history on why I'm so good at it. I've never, like Michael said, I'm not good at. I've never played it. Talking is hard sometimes. I've never played it, but I'm very good at Tetris and making pieces fit. And so I see the whole game board and I like see 20 steps ahead and how am I going to win? And so.
Oh, that is why you won then, because I absolutely was not doing that.
Yeah, but that was fun. That was fun. If you like Tetris, this is kind of like a, opponent physical version of Tetris. It's a really fun game. Yeah, 2 to 4 players, lots of geometric shapes and fitting them into small spaces, whatever. But it's cool because you block, you be offensive and stuff. So check it out, Blockus, Blokus. Yeah, and again, we'll link all these games in our show notes if you want to check them out. Okay, what do we got? Number 4. Oh yeah. Number 4 is Battleship. Not the new version, but the old school version, which when we bought our first version of Battleship, it was a weird new version. And I was like, I am not all about this man on the island junk. Get rid of that. Well, do you remember that? Oh yeah. We still have it, don't we? We might have got rid of it. Oh, I think we got rid of it, but we found the retro version, the old school version at Target, and I was like, this is what I want. I want the old school Battleship. Yeah, the new one the old one is like a 10 by 10 grid, and you have the pegs or whatever. But the new one is hexagon based. It was weird. Yeah, so weird. It was super weird. And then you get all the ships, and then it was kind of interesting, but it just doesn't work because the retro game's too good. But you get all the ships, and then there's like a guy on an island, which is a single peg. So it does give you a chance to catch up if you got your fleet manhandled, but you can't get the guy. So yeah. But just give me the original. Just leave well enough alone. Just stop improving stuff. It was right the first time. Yeah. All right, number 4 for me is Ticket to Ride. Oh, that's a good one. That's a super fun game for parties and stuff. I don't know how many people can play, but it's like at least 6. Oh, yeah. However many train colors there are. But one of the reasons I like it is because
I win and lose pretty equally, but like I feel like I'm good at it, but there's some things where, the cookie just crumbles the wrong way for you to beat it, even if you're good at it.
Yeah, well, there's so many moving parts.
Yeah, literally, there's like 150 pieces to this game.
Ticket to Ride is really, really fun.
Yeah, it's like you have to build train cars across America or Europe if you buy that one, and try to get the most completed routes and stuff. But I love it.
Yes, that one is a good one. And it's also like if you like slow-paced games that you don't have to speed through and stuff like that, you want to take your time, that one is a really good one. You can just put a movie on in the background and take an hour or two to play. It's just a chill game. Really fun. Okay, we're on to number 3. My number 3 is Phase 10. Speaking of slow games, this one is probably the mother of slow games. I do like fast games, but Phase 10 is really great because you can play keeping score, you can play not keeping score. It's great for 2-player. It's really great if you want to have a date night and, again, something playing on the background, a movie or something. But it's kind of like one of our defaults. Like if we can't agree on one, we're just like, oh, let's just pull out Phase 10. But that one's really, really great. And if you have a big group of people, it's really good too.
Yeah. I can't believe that didn't make my list at all. I love Phase 10 too. I just forgot about it.
Terrible.
Yeah. Crap. Yeah, but that's another one that when you have 2 people, it changes the dynamics, not necessarily for the better, because once the other person gets their phase, the whole round ends. It's not my favorite. You can't play off other cards.
If you're keeping score, it doesn't end.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. We never keep score.
You have
a
to,
lot of paperwork.
You have to discard everything for it to win, for the phase to end.
Oh, that's right.
But
we just go. Anyways, we break the rules. All right, number 3?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to flip mine, actually, now that I kind of think about it. But number 3 for me is Pandemic. You mentioned it earlier.
Mm-hmm.
It made my list because I love that game. It was the first game I've ever played that I can think of where it's collaborative. So you are versus the board.
Yeah.
Right now, we haven't played it ever since COVID hit because it's a little bit too close for comfort.
I don't really care,
but cities fall and stuff, and it's like I don't really want to imagine that. But one of the reasons, and this is getting a little serious right now, I'm not even kidding, but one of the reasons it's special to me is because when we found that game, do you remember?
I do. I know exactly when we found it.
Yeah, so in 2016, early on, we found out we were pregnant. Well, we found out Elizabeth was pregnant with what would have been our second child, but lost that baby at 8 weeks. And, it's one of those things I hope you never know the pain of that. It's absolutely devastating. And in the afternoon when that happened, I was at work and I got off work and we came home and we're just like, what in the world do we do? Like, you're just sad. You got really nothing else to think about other than how sad you are. But we had been hearing about this game for months from a couple friends of ours, so I just went to Target before I had gotten home, or at some point during that day, I don't remember the exact time, and I bought Pandemic. And I was like, look, let's just park it and play a game that's new, it's going to take some brain power to do, and we're just kind of learn it. And it was really a nice little mini getaway from that day and that week and all that stuff. We played it a fair bit early on after we got it. So it's kind of it was just a way to kind of turn around a horrible thing, and I've loved that game ever since.
Yeah, it was nice because it really took our thoughts off of something terrible that we couldn't fix. We couldn't do anything about it, and it gave us a common problem to solve. As silly as a game might be, it was really fun, and it was a well-timed purchase for sure. And it's definitely, in our opinion, worth adding to your game closet because it's super fun.
And there's also a version where it's called Legends or something like that, and it's really expensive. But when you play games, certain cities will fall and they'll be deleted from the game forever. And when you play subsequent times, that city's gone. It gets harder and harder and harder. So I've never played it, but it sounded cool.
I've never played it either. All right, we are moving on to number 2, and my number 2 is Clue. I love Clue. I love it. I love the mystery. I love trying to solve the, mystery of who killed with what object in what room. Unfortunately, I don't think that is a 2-player game. If it is, it's not as fun. It's more fun when you have more people.
Yeah.
Which is why we can't play it a whole lot, because Charlotte's not old enough to really grasp that concept yet of like solving a mystery and strategically moving around a board. But I love Clue. I absolutely love it. I always have. I always will. I don't know. There's just something about it. And also, if you haven't seen the movie
I was
Clue,
going to ask.
I believe it was done in the 90s, but I'm not sure.
It's like peak Tim Curry.
Oh, so good. Like, just all the actors and actresses in that movie are like excellent comedians of their day. So good, so funny. But anyways, yeah, so Clue is my number 2. I love that game.
All right, my number 2 is Settlers of Catan. Catan, however you want to say it.
I think both are correct.
Yeah. I was introduced to this game in college. I think like everybody finds it the same way.
Was it college or grad school?
It was college.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was already playing it by the time they picked it up there. Although now I'm doubting it. But anyway, it is not a 2-player game. There's no way to do it with 2 players.
I think minimum is 3 or 4.
I think 4.
4.
I think. But if you've not played it, it's like it sounds really goofy, but it's just so perfectly made. The resources are just scarce enough to where nobody really has a lot of anything, and it's super level as far as like you can be good at it, but you're still not going to win every time necessarily, at least in my experience with like really good players. It's just you might get great rolls, you might not. And the little like real wood pieces and super high quality stuff. I even met a guy on Facebook who helped me get like a little ear saver thing when the pandemic hit, and he had a 3D printer, and he showed me he had made color 3D Catan board. It was awesome.
It was dope.
Like mountains and rivers and dirt and desert, whatever. It was super cool.
Yeah.
And I want to get it. But it'd probably be like $200.
Yeah. Yeah. Settlers of Catan is really fun. That's a really fun one where it's like it's not a predictable thing, and like Michael said, the outcomes change every single game, and you have to learn to be resourceful, and it's a super good one if you like to play with several people. I think the minimum is 3 because there's an expansion pack for 5 to 6 players.
Might be.
But anyways.
Well, one thing that's cool about it is I remember one playthrough in particular. Like anything can happen in this game. So my brother was losing like really badly, and it was kind of one of those things where he didn't want to keep going, but he did, and he ended up in like the last 10 rolls just being boom, 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 and he won.
Anyone?
Yeah. So it's a cool game. It's got a lot of cool dynamics.
Yeah. Okay. So now we're on to number 1. Number 1, we're here. Can you believe it?
I know mine by heart. I'm put my phone away.
My number 1 is Cones of Dunshire. I'm just kidding.
Oh, nice.
If you know what that's from, we're besties.
Are you the, what's the one he wears the hat?
It says Wizard, Maverick, Arbiter, Warriors, Corporal, Ledgerman.
That's it.
Yeah.
So what's your real one?
My real number 1 is... You want to guess?
Number 1. Scrabble.
It is Scrabble.
Yeah.
And we never play it because you don't like to play it.
No,
which is extremely unfair because we always play the games that you want to play.
What? You're making me look bad on the podcast.
I'm calling you out on the podcast.
But
it is true. We don't ever play it because Michael doesn't like to play it.
It's because the average length of each play is 5 minutes.
Who
It takes
cares?
forever.
Who cares?
It's really long. I also suck at it. I'm terrible. I should...
For as much as you read, you should be really good at it.
I'm just not good at Scrabble. I can get a lot of words on there, but I never get actual good points for any of them. I don't know. I'm terrible at it.
I love Scrabble, and we have the the nice board where it swivels and like each tile has its own little thing. Like so, if you knock the board, it won't like knock all the Scrabble tiles all over the place.
It's like a little briefcase when it closes up, and you got little drawers for the tiles.
It is. I love it. I love it. So that is my number one.
All right.
What's your number one?
Guess.
One we have, but we don't play a lot.
Yep. Red and blue. 2-player only.
Stratego?
You got it. Stratego, baby.
You got it.
That is nice. No one else will get that but us. Wow, my favorite game. Can't say it. Stratego is the coolest game.
That one is fun.
Talk about the perfect execution of a game. So if you don't know what it is, you have a grid. Some of the parts of the grid are not accessible, so you kind of have to go through like 2x2 grids. You have about 30 pieces each, red and blue usually. I first played it when it was a Star Wars version. I have not found that version.
Ooh.
I want it.
I'll keep an eye out for that.
But it originally, the actual version that we have, the one I've seen since then, was Civil War. But you arrange your stuff. There's bombs. There's people that can only defuse bombs and have no power. There's generals. They're all like 0. They're like 1 through 10 in power. And the thing is that you're always attacking or letting people go based on you don't know what that piece is.
Yeah, so you're blindly confronting each other. Your pieces, it's like a blank side confronting each other, and when they get face to face, they're in like their own little like cube on the board kind of a thing, like their own place, but they're right next to each other. You then have to say the number on those pieces so that you know who lives and who dies. So
and who tells your story.
Nice. The lower ranking one, so like 1 is gonna kill everybody except for a bomb. And then, so then you have 2 through 10 or whatever. But you have to say the number of that like player, so that you can decide who survives and who doesn't. But it's really cool because it's capture the flag. So you try and find the flag.
Yeah, so you can put your flag way deep in the corner surrounded by bombs, but then it becomes obvious that like everyone that goes over there dies every time, so the flag is definitely there. Send your minesweeper, boom, you got it. Or you could totally hide your flag in plain sight and just hope people pass by it and put your bomb, all your bombs in the corner as a decoy. But you got to remember where everybody is and all that stuff, your own people and their people. It's really cool.
Yeah, that one is really fun if you like a slower paced game. Not super slow, but a slower paced game. Especially if you only have one other person to play with, that's a really good one to add to your game closet. But that one's really, I enjoy that one.
I'm glad.
And the outcome changes all the time. Even though there's not like a ton of moving parts, but you don't necessarily always master the strategy of it, of like trying to hide your flag, because last game we played, I might remember some of the things Michael tried and try to remember that, and so you always kind of have to change it up, and so just a lot of stuff can happen. But
yeah, my favorite thing to do is like it's really scary, but you take your most powerful guy like on a giant run through the middle of things and just start destroying stuff. But anyway, I'm really nerdy.
Going like Rambo.
Yeah, take your general out there and be like getting all the little pawns. I don't remember what they're called. And then you hit a bomb, game over, basically.
Privates? They call it privates?
Hey, this is rated PG. Don't be talking about privates.
Anyways, so that concludes our game, our Fave 5 game. But before we finish, we want to let you know what the challenge is. And it is next time you go on a date night in the next 7 days. So not in like the date night 2 weeks from now, like in the next 7 days, have a date night with your spouse, whether it's at home or out and about, and sit and talk about your Fave 5 games.
No. You got to get out there and do a game.
Oh.
You got to this is not a conversation. Decide a night before.
I like it.
Or the night of, go into your game closet, and you got to go play at least one game.
I like that. And if you don't have any games, if your game closet consists of Candyland because you have children and you don't have an adult game, use one of the links in the show notes and you can peruse the games that we like and decide one that works best for you and your spouse. But I like that challenge much better. To play a game with your spouse in the next 7 days. So be intentional about it. Sit down, pour a glass of wine, have a good time with your spouse, because it's just a fun, easy way to connect with your spouse. And I don't know, we're just big game people.
Yeah. And if you're not a big game person, maybe your spouse is, throw them a bone a little bit. But the biggest thing is just to have a good attitude about it. If you're a sore loser, you've just got to push that aside, because it's the relationship that counts.
Yes.
Not winning the game, but it's bonding. It's like an hour, 2 hours, depending on the game. Just have fun.
Yeah, because honestly, if the reason you haven't played games with your spouse is because one of you is a sore loser, like, what does winning a game actually get you?
Right.
Nothing. It feeds your ego and your pride. Will ego and pride help your marriage? No, it actually won't. Just to be real with you, it won't. So just have fun, and especially like Michael said, if your spouse likes to play games and you're not a big fan, this is one way you can serve your spouse by having a fun game night, and then next time you have a date night, they can do something for you. Because Michael and I don't like the same things all the time. For example, we never play Scrabble because he doesn't like it.
I think my challenge is in the next 7 days we're going to play Scrabble.
There you go. I think that's a good challenge.
Yeah, we'll do it.
I think it's a good challenge. But I really don't ask a whole lot. I think the last time I asked you to play Scrabble was like 2 years ago. So
I don't remember.
it's Michael's not, he doesn't like always refuse. He's not a bad game player or whatever. But it's just not one of his favorites, and so
I'll say, Scrabble, what if we played stratego instead?
No, it's fine. As long as we're coming together and doing something, being intentional about spending time together, it's fine. But that is your challenge for this week. If you have not rated and reviewed us on iTunes, we would love it if you would do that. We absolutely cherish those reviews, and they mean the world to us. And if you like this episode, it would be great if you shared it with a friend. And we love hearing from you guys, so please don't hesitate to reach out and let us know that you're listening. Let us know if you have any questions or any topics you want us to talk about. So you guys are amazing. Thank you for coming back week after week, and we love y'all. Bye.
See ya.